Hi, everybody, and welcome to Burnout. Oh my god.
I love Deacon Masala.
You're gonna choke. Be careful.
Yeah, Cullen. So Cullen's dead, and my name is Kazuma Hashimoto, infamous game journalist and host, one of three fantastic hosts of this podcast.
I'm GC. I'm not joking to death, and I'm a second of the wonderful hosts of this podcast.
Hello, Cullen 2 is here. Oh, is that? Oh, God. Gotta get that Cullen 1 out of here. There weren't even bones in that. Hi, I'm Cullen 3.
Okay.
Oh,
Cullen,
I fucked that up. I'm Cullen 2.
no, you're Cullen 3. Is it? It's like that movie that's coming out, Mickey 17, where they clone this guy named Mickey. Yeah.
Honestly, I would be so productive if there were like 17 me's. So I'm not gonna see that movie because I'm sure they're gonna be like, oh, it's so bad to have a bunch of other yous, and it's like, no, mine would get along.
Yeah, yours would love to hyperfixate on Sonic all at the same time.
It's not even. I was going to say, I'm not even like the Sonic arc has passed like ages ago. While I wear my Shadow the Hedgehog T-shirt.
Oh my god. So Jake really wants to get that T-shirt idea that he put in our Discord of what is it, Shadow and Sonic kissing with Burnout culture underneath it.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see Burnout culture merch, let us know. Because I'm ordering a lot of custom print stuff for myself. Like I'm getting a hat that says I'd rather be playing World of Warcraft. Because that's how I'm feeling a lot of the time this week. So
Yeah. And leave suggestions in the Discord for merch ideas if you want. Even if they're like funny haha ideas.
Yes.
I would love to see stupid stuff that people come up with.
yeah, like a Burnout culture.
Bong.
Yeah. Just for Cullen.
Just for me.
Cullen only. Yes. Yes.
You know what would go like super hard though? A Burnout culture coffee mug.
Oh,
It would.
yeah.
Those would actually
Because our
go
logo
pretty
looks
hard.
really nice.
Yeah.
Gassing yourself up, huh? I don't know who
I
came
mean-
up with that logo, but that logo's pretty cool.
I mean, the fact that I just did it while I was laying on my couch in Germany with like the laptop on my chest, and I was like, I have an idea.
It is pretty sick. I'll give you that.
It'd be like
Thank you.
I'm kind of mad. It's a bit fire.
it'd be
Yeah.
one of those like heat detection coffee mugs, and the burnout would come in when you have coffee in it.
Ooh.
Yes.
See?
A mug that says culture. Honestly, hold on.
Yeah. And then when it's not being
bit.
used, it just says culture on it.
Yeah, let's back
Yeah.
this up just a little bit. No expensive heat mug. It just says culture. I have a feeling that would go crazy because you can
Yes.
adapt whatever you want into it. It's
Draw
just
on your mug.
Yeah, it's like you project what you want the mug to be. And it just, it sells to everybody. I think we should really become capitalists in 2024.
Sure. Why not?
I think let's just make that bag.
I mean, we're already shooting
Yeah.
monkeys for millions of dollars, so I guess we
Oh
can.
my god. Okay, you guys
I
need to
didn't come
talk
up with
about
this.
that backstory, that
We
whole
already-
thing, because
we brought it up
Did
on
we?
the podcast.
Oh yeah, we did.
okay, because sorry, my memory is really bad. I started some new medication, and it's making me feel like I'm on a really a boat that's being rocked by waves, like
Ugh.
tremendously large waves.
Oh,
So-
Have you
that's
checked for the Hat
vertigo.
Man in your apartment?
The Hat Man? Who's the Hat Man?
You tell me.
The Hat Man is
Is he
an
there?
entity that people who are like take a bunch of Benadryl and go to sleep. It's like a shared hallucination that everyone has, but the reality
It's the
is
ghost
that
of
shit.
John Benadryl.
yeah.
They're full of shit. Like
They're not full of
those
shit.
kind
Here's what
things-
actually happens. Here's what
Okay.
actually happens. It's you hear about the Hat Man, right? And the next time you're in a delirious state or you're in like a drugged state, your brain remembers that you know about the Hat Man and it hallucinates the Hat Man.
Hey
Oh,
GC,
yeah.
that's what we call full of shit.
No, that's a
That's not.
It's like a psychological thing. It's like, you know,
it's
James.
not that the Hat Man is
yeah.
real.
No, but it's
Yeah.
like one guy was like,
It's not
this would
that,
be
you know-
really funny if I typed up, oh, I took a bunch of bennies and I saw the Hat Man and he sucked my pee-pee. And then everyone's like, oh, I could get that right now so good.
But now-
fuck.
Exactly.
The
But
Hat
now
Man will call
people
me.
it's the thing of like if somebody invents a story of something being there.
Is that the
It's like when you
Streisand
watch
effect?
The Hat Man effect, yes.
It's
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but it's like it's like when you watch a scary movie and then suddenly like you're like alone in your house and you start hearing shit and your brain starts being like, it's that thing in the scary movie that you watched. Like it's that, but when you throw drugs into the mix, the brain is like, well, I can do anything now. You know?
Do you want to hear a story about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So one time Jake and I were driving back from like a major city in Dusseldorf and we were taking a back road and it was raining really, really hard. And as we were driving back, there was just like a guy standing on the side of the road in the dark. And because we couldn't see his face, like the rain was pouring so hard, you just couldn't make out any features on his face. We were like, oh, damn, there's like a faceless man standing at the side of the road in the middle of the night at 11 p.m. in the middle of a rainstorm with no abandoned car in sight. Yeah, there you
saw
go.
Emio.
I did see Emio.
For some reason, I thought this was gonna be like a drug story. I was like, oh yeah, in Dusseldorf, we got crunked up and then we pretended to be the Hat Man. And I was going to lead into, that's mine's way less interesting. When I used to get high, I would be like, I could Mario long jump from Mario 64. I could do this.
Two things. One, you say Dusseldorf way better than I do because you actually pronounce it correctly, and I just
Dusseldorf?
refuse. Yeah, I just say Dusseldorf, but it's Dusseldorf. Yeah,
Dusseldorf.
Yeah, and two, no. The story would have gone. We got really high, and I never get high because for some reason I just can't. And then we went to the Goth Raving Bridge in Dusseldorf, which is, the gif of all the cyber goths raving under the bridge. That's actually in Dusseldorf.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. They do seem kind of German in retrospect.
Yeah.
We would never have so many concentrated goths in America.
They have like a international goth convention in like Germany as well.
I gotta go.
So, yeah. You gotta find a big titty goth BF.
Wait, no, I'm in a relationship.
I'm gonna find a big titty goth.
Yeah, GC's gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
And I think goth people are okay with the bald, so I think you'll be fine.
Oh,
all right,
they can draw
goth
on
art?
it, huh?
When's your goth art?
My goth arc? I never went through one, and I don't think I ever will. I never had like a scene kid or emo kid or goth kid phase. I had a skater kid phase.
The Vans, huh?
I had a like. Wait, no, skater and scene is like basically the same thing.
No, they're they're totally different.
Okay.
They're totally different. Like compared to like the brands of clothes they wear. Uh-oh, what's going on?
What?
GC said we have to resync.
Damn.
Oh,
dog.
why? Did your shit crash? Can he even hear us?
I don't think he can hear us. Well, we could just have this audio while GC can't hear us. So we can just talk about GC's bald head.
Okay, I'm back.
Like the least. Oh shit.
Welcome back.
Anymore.
Oh fuck. Okay.
I just heard Kazuma saying his bald head, and now I'm back.
That could be about anyone.
I summoned GC. I looked into the magic ball and I said, please.
Baldo.
Yeah.
Baldo. And GC's big head emerged from the ground. Lightning blasted outside.
Yeah, but no, Scene Kid and Skater Kid are totally different subcultures.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that they were the same, because GC would have to edit that out because his audio fucked up. So yes, I agree. GC, why would you think that?
I don't think they were the same.
Why would you say that scene and skater and emo and goth and jock are all like one clique?
There's
one
like
universal clique.
It is like a to foreshadow the future in the episode. It is a weapon triangle,
Yes.
Scene kids fuck
God,
with skater kids who fuck with goth kids who fuck with scene kids.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't want to be the Scene Kid. Please don't make me the Scene Kid.
I don't want to be in this conversation.
I notoriously did not get along with Scene Kids.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah. I thought the things they did with their hair was like really cool, but the bands they listened to were obnoxious, and they were very much the RAR means I love you and dinosaur. Yeah.
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 That's actually why I never got along with scene kids, because
They
even
were like,
when I was
so
young,
random.
I was a cynic. And I was like,
Yeah.
ugh.
So a fella can't even be random anymore, okay?
No, it's more like, please don't
Alright.
quote Charlie the Unicorn at me. Like,
Oh,
please
God.
don't. Oh yeah, yeah. See,
So a
Cullen,
fella
you're
in
too
his
young for
teens
this.
can't what the fuck are you talking about? I listen to the Film Cow podcast. No, I'm not.
Oh,
Fuck, I
I
outed
mean,
myself. Shit.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like that and like old Greg, and I was just like, I can't stand you people. I cannot stand you. Hey, what are you typing?
nothing.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm not telling my girlfriend to hide all my scene merchandise and burn it all. Don't
So
worry
like your
about it.
plastic diamond necklaces and your like
My
shutter
Charlie the
shades.
Unicorn real
You
size
literally have Sonic
replica.
the Hedgehog ice.
I don't recall this.
Like,
It's
I've
Shadow the
seen the
Hedgehog
jackets
ice.
you
I
wear.
see the,
You're 100% a post-scene kid adult.
That's actually very rude of you to say, because one of those jackets I wear was an Emrage jacket, and lovely drawer.
And they're great.
Oh
But
yeah,
it is a clear indication
Respect the drawer.
of your lineage.
Respect our drawer.
Yeah.
GC doesn't carry you, but I carry you.
I want an
Aw.
Enraged jacket. I'm just projecting, and
Buy one.
are they on? Well, because the color that I want isn't on sale, right?
Yeah,
Which
they're all
color is
sold
it?
out forever.
Hold on, let me find out.
No, they're reprinting again. Ask Jake when they're reprinting.
I
Yeah.
said, I hacked the site and I said, if GC no sell, everything sold out.
Yeah.
Except the Guilty Gear ones where fat boobs are on the jacket.
Oh no, those sold out like immediately.
Okay.
Ooh,
No shade, I guess, to anyone who likes those. They're not for me. I like the kind of like, I guess, nerd merch that's like mostly not in your face about it.
Mhm.
I got into
Same.
an argument with my roommate about this because my roommate was like, I want that biking jacket. It's like really cool. And I'm like, I don't know. She's kind of boobingly.
Kind of resting boobily.
Yeah, she's breasting boobily a bit too much. I wouldn't want to be seen in that. It was like, gotta be less judgmental, Cullen.
Oh my god. See, this is really rich coming from somebody that dressed like a Castlevania character for a year. But when I have like inspiration from like video game characters for my wardrobe, I'm like really down low about it. Like I have this one jacket from Uniqlo and I literally bought it because it looked like Wesker's jacket from Umbrella Chronicles and I was like, I need this jacket for the winter. I have to have this jacket.
I stopped by Uniqlo in DC for my birthday. And I pretty much just got like, I got like a long sleeve black sweater. Does not help my case. Uniqlo has some nice clothes.
They do, and it's really
Sometimes.
high quality. And they stopped sourcing their cotton from forced labor camps, so it's okay
That's
to buy
good.
from them again. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Speaking of sweaters, if anyone's going to LA Comic-Con, because this is gonna come out before that, you can find me there. I'll be going and I'll be cosplaying with some friends. We're doing well, I'll be cosplaying X-Men and they're gonna cosplay something else. So
okay.
be
I
on the
really
lookout.
hope that
Yeah?
you're just like cosplaying as an X-Men box set.
Oh, that'd be really funny. Like I'm just in a cardboard box. Yeah. I'm cosplaying the X-Men box set. Please look out for me. Ugh.
But now
Yeah.
that we're done talking about clothes, this is actually a week to be burnt the fuck out. I am
Oh my
so
God.
sick of video games.
Yeah, I didn't do my homework and I feel
I
like
didn't
this
also.
week, yeah, because all of us are really busy, like having
I
to
just
play
didn't want
things for
to.
work. Oh, well, that's fair too, but we've all been really busy playing things for work. Around this season, we're probably not going to do homework, but expect a lot of us talking about like
How
game
we hate
reviews and
homework.
stuff. Yeah, and how we hate video games. So
Mhm.
buckle in, baby. Actually, I'm really enjoying. No, actually, I'm not enjoying video games, but I'm also enjoying video games. I was like, yeah, I fucking love video games. And I was like, wait a second.
You can't
I'd
talk
rather
about
be
anything?
playing. Yeah, no, actually, I was like, I gotta tell you guys about this game I'm playing, but I actually can't talk about it until like next time we record because I saw when the embargo was. But I definitely had my I'd rather be playing World of Warcraft hat on the entire time. And it's not the game you're thinking of, Cullen. It's a different one.
No, I know. I have a
Yeah.
game I cannot talk
Yeah.
about until about 2 episodes from now.
Yeah. Ugh.
Which is unfortunate. But I've been like doing a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess GC and I played the Dragon Quest Monsters 3 port.
Yes, we
I'm
did.
sure we have very little talk about on that, but we have been playing it.
I can condense it pretty good. That's a really good port. It runs really well. The loading times are non-existent. Wow, that game is so much better when there's no hitching or frame rate drops or anything of that sort. That being said, there are certain effects, on-screen effects that are look a little cheap now that the game runs at an appropriate frame rate at a bigger resolution. The fire rain in the Nadiria area, like the first area of Nadiria that you go to, it looks really bad because like by comparison, it actually makes it look worse a little bit. But that is a detriment I can live with more than.
Does it look like the Diablo fire?
Huh?
Does it look like the Diablo 2, Diablo 1 fire effect where it's like hyper realistic pixelized fire?
No, it is in its art style, but it is anchored to your screen. It is not anchored to like, it's not an effect that's applied on the area. Well, okay. You know how like rain in video games is actually localized on the player to save like on like memory usage and stuff. Yeah. They put the distance too short. So they didn't make it a big enough radius. So when you move, you can actually see it move with you and not necessarily feel like it's rain that's coming from, way up in the sky. It feels like you have a rain cloud over your head and you're walking around and it like, whatever, like it gives that effect. It's hard to describe, but if you see it, it's, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I was also hoping that would be better. I didn't get that far in what I played, but that is a bummer.
It's a very small bummer in a sea of improvements. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I haven't played much of it because of other things, but yeah.
I can't get myself to play it. I feel like I truly burnt myself out by like playing basically the entire thing, like almost like to 100% completion on Switch. And now it's just like, oh.
Well, it hasn't been long enough, right? It's only been like a year and you played it to front to back and you're like, okay, like me, I'm going to treat it like a little snack. Like I'm just going to like every now and again, I'm going to boot it up, play through a zone, fuse some monsters together and call it a day and then go do something else. That's how I'm playing episode I guess as well.
That's smart. It's actually very smart to not binge that.
Yeah.
Did I mention on our last episode or was embargoed? No, I wasn't able to talk about it. I binged the entirety of episode I guess in a week, with most of that being like backloaded to the weekend. And I think it hurt my enjoyment of the overall package, but not in a way I'd say it's like the game's fault. But just, oh God, take your time with that. Please take your time with that. That's some good Persona dungeon crawling, and we're not going to get any more of that for a while.
Yeah, and it's pure dungeon crawling. So don't go in there expecting to do like traditional Persona stuff. Don't binge it because it's literally just the combat system for, I want to say like 16 to 20 hours.
30.
Maybe 30. Okay. Well, 30 if you're like doing all of Elizabeth's requests and stuff like that.
No, not even.
You sure? Because like I'm moving pretty fast through it.
Are you doing all the monad doors?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, then you have to face that you're a little turtle.
Oh, I'm also like, when I play RPGs that I've played before, I have a lot of experience in. Like I fly off the handle. Like I move really fast through them.
This is sad. I'm a turtle.
No, it's fine. Turtles are really cute.
I'm not. I'm an alligator now.
So that means that you move really slow until you don't and you death roll people.
Yep.
I love that for you.
I also played Dragon Quest Monsters 3, but well, the day it came out, I was like going to buy it after work, and my editor at RPG Set was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if you reviewed it on phone and I reviewed it on PC and we just collabed on a piece?" And I said, "Yeah, that would be very funny." So I played it on mobile. It's fine. Don't play it on mobile. Have some self-respect.
Yeah. Unless you're really desperate to play Dragon Quest Monsters all the time,
Yeah, and you know what? Let me actually be like reasonable. It launched like at only $26, which for all that game, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you are stuck playing it exclusively on your phone, and there's no controller support or anything like that. So I don't know.
I bet that game goes pretty hard on the Fold.
I mean, I'm playing on the Flip,
Ooh.
but
What's
like
the Fold?
it's
the Fold
the
is the
Z
one
Fold.
that, yeah, it's the one that opens up into like a square. And it has like a crease in the middle.
Unfortunately, like I was actually kind of hoping that there would be an option to have it like a vertical display, because that vertically, like, you know, playing with like one hand while I like, you know, watch like TV or
Oh,
something,
that would be great.
that would be great. You know, have it be an optional thing so people don't get mad. It's like, oh, they fucked up the presentation. Just like it's so much more convenient than holding your phone sideways. It just doesn't work.
Want to know something funny?
No.
Okay.
Please.
The
All
other
I concede.
the other Dragon Quest Monsters games on phone are in vertical display.
It's fucked up.
So you can actually play them with one hand. I don't know why the Dark Prince isn't like that. Maybe it'll get an update, but it might have to do with like how they designed the UI, and it might have taken more work to redesign the UI, because like previous Monsters games, if you think about it this way, none of them were widescreen.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this one is. So redoing that for phones would mean reworking a lot of UI elements and like redesigning how the game like handles camera work and stuff like that.
And I can tell you why they didn't do it.
Because it costs money.
Yeah, they were like, let's get this shit out and then move on.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I don't know why Square Enix has been so dismissive with this game in ways that they always kind of are with a lot of their non like Final Fantasy games. But like this one in particular, it's just like they just wanted this out. When they announced it sold like 1 million copies, I could almost like sense the like eye roll. It's like, it's 1 million, I guess, whatever. Guess it's sold.
They should be happy. They're underperforming.
Yeah, especially because they're bombing. But whatever.
They're only bombing because their projected sales just aren't being met, and projected sales is some guy in a room drawing on a whiteboard as investors clap louder.
Well, okay. Like the thing that they're actually saying they didn't meet was profits. And I think the reality is just it's not that they're being unreasonable. I think it's just that their budgets are too high.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like that, I truly believe that like they are actually not making enough money to like, you know, actually do what they need
their games.
to facilitate their games. I 100% believe it. And which is why, and I'm not saying you're doing this, GC, but it's why I like kind of get a bit frustrated whenever someone like will go like, oh, then lower your expectations. And I'm like, you know, that comes with lowering their budgets, right? Are you guys, I mean, I'm ready for if they do that because I love their lower budget games. I was about to transition into talking about Romancing Saga 2's demo, which that's going to be one of my favorite games of the whole fucking year. And that was not made on some $quadrillion Rebirth budget.
Can I say something real quick before you segue?
Yeah, of course.
They probably, if they had a lower budget for the games that they made, I can almost guarantee that they probably would have sold as many copies anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
because they're expecting people to basically buy as many copies as there are PlayStation 5s out on the market.
And that's ridiculous because, I mean, we
Final Fantasy is not a title that sells consoles anymore, and it hasn't been. Kids are playing Fortnite and shit. Like,
yeah, but also like, even if it did sell consoles, like we know, just common sense would tell you that not everybody that buys a PS5 is interested in every game that's out on it. So like, you're always going to have a diminishing return between game sales versus how many consoles are out there. You know,
it's really sad to see.
Do we want to give everyone here like a little scoop?
Of
listens to our podcast.
What's the scoop?
Just that. So I was working on a piece for a game developer about Square Enix, and I had actually interviewed somebody that was associated with their finance department, and they were telling me how one of their divisions basically has an issue with producers having too much control over what makes it in the game. So they decide on the weirdest brand collaborations that basically has tested poorly internally and externally just because a producer wants it, and that's costing them money.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
There's got to be a story or like an opinion piece waiting in the wings about auteur theory and how the video game industry has completely bought into it.
I think the only auteur exception, and because they're not even really an auteur, even if everyone wants to think they are, is my man Suda51. Because you read anything on like how Grasshopper games are made, and he's always like going to all the different like teams and getting younger talent to like contribute. And then you think about Square Enix, where it's like, even if I like a lot of those like, you know, big like auteurs of sorts, I totally believe that they have an issue with like over control, I guess, and getting what they want.
Well, you mentioned Square Enix, and I've been reading comments from the Japanese community regarding the reception of Dawn Trail and how Yoshi P basically said to, I think it was PC Gamer, that we acknowledge that you guys don't like Wook Lamont, the main character in Dawn Trail, basically, and we feel like we could have fixed that problem by making her more courageous. And everyone's response is, he doesn't seem to get the issue. He's out of touch with the community. And I was like, holy shit. There were even some comments that were like, the guy who revived Final Fantasy XIV is killing Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Like, the community is basically like turning on him because he's been the face of it for so long. Because of how poorly this expansion has been received because of this one character.
That's just silliness all around.
It's like it's like if you're going to like build your company around sort of propping up individual names and showrunners essentially, and being like, these are the guys, right? These are the guys that make the games you like, whatever. At some point, you need to have those people take on, for lack of a better word, an apprentice, or introduce new names to the audience so that people so that your audience starts to recognize more names in the development of things, so that like when you the quote unquote auteur can no longer sort of appeal to the audience, or the audience doesn't want to be appealed to by you, you can get other people to work on these things and to lead things, and you can take a more sort of background approach and see if like these new ideas or these new people can carry on or introduce something new that you wouldn't have. But I feel like if you're constantly focused on like your top brass having full control or having too much control or what have you, you end up stagnating because you run out of ideas. You just run out of ideas, or you get tired, or you get repetitive, and like you need other perspectives to sort of inspire you to come up with something new too. Like, I guess that's why Suda51, like if we're going to go back to the Suda51 example, like I think that's why Grasshopper makes like all this weird shit, and it's always like interesting and different, because he's doing that, because he's got like younger talent coming in and introducing new ideas. So he doesn't feel as tired. He doesn't feel like, to the audience, he doesn't feel as like, for lack of a better word, washed up.
And I think like to even like go back to Square, ping pong a little bit, is that it's like, what, like it's interesting.
They don't have young people in any position of power in that company.
That is what I was ultimately going to get at. But I was going to say that with like the acknowledgement that I am someone who does enjoy almost all of the games they make nowadays, at least in some way. But I don't think this is going to last forever. Like, I think at least creatively, they've kind of got themselves back on track and they're making a bunch of good stuff, but this is not going to last for like that much longer if we're just getting the same couple old guys these projects. I think because like that's what I think made them so successful back in like the 90s and 2000s, was that they would just give projects to like young people and be like, make it sell. I mean, that's all we want.
The whole reason FF14 is as big as it was is because they gave it to some nobody. Yeah. And they had zero faith in it, to be fair. They had zero faith that he'd, turn it into what it is now. But like, that's what they did. They gave it to somebody else who had, I don't think Yoshi P had like any standout credentials at the time.
I think he was on Dragon Quest X.
Yeah, and the guys that worked on 14 originally had no experience making MMOs. They basically just threw it at a bunch of people, hoping that it would work.
And like, I don't know, like they could try that again. It might be risky, but like, I don't know. If you're already spending all this money on games that underperform for you, maybe you can divert some of that budget onto like projects that, you know, that could be your next sort of blow up. I don't know.
Okay, but do you understand what really tanked their company? Dio Field Chronicle. Because that's the one they always go. Sorry, I love that they always go back to Dio Field Chronicle. They're like,
have they talked about it though since the year of Dio Field? God bless.
Well, every
name.
time it gets brought up in like games that disappointed us and are causing our financial woes, Dio Field Chronicle, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I feel like all those games that came out that year, every time we mention it, we should be like mafiosos in New York, where it's like, yeah, I remember Dio Field Chronicles. God rest his soul. God rest his soul.
Yeah. God
soul.
rest his soul. That was actually an interesting game that had a lot of cool ideas behind it.
Yeah.
My daughter was pledged to marry a young lad named Harvestella.
God rest his soul.
Fucking shot it before he could really get big. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
Like so many of those games were like actually interesting. Harvestella was fun.
Yeah. Harvestella was really interesting, and I liked it a lot. I got to go back and play more Harvestella because I got pretty far.
It's like, it's frustrating because those were 2022, right?
Yes.
Creatively, I think that was one of like my favorite years Square has had.
Yeah.
In like 8, because consistently everyone like, and granted, maybe they shouldn't have released like 8 games in like the span of 4 months. Not the best idea, but also like if you had marketed them, maybe they could have been something cool.
Maybe we took some of the budget from your AAA games and gave it to them to advertise.
I'm sorry, Forspoken is going to be the biggest game of the 2020s. We're going all in on Forspoken. Oh, what? Forspoken failed? Fuck those guys. Burn their company down. Dio Field, how could you do this?
Dio Field, how could you do this to our company?
And like, I want to, like, to your point, Cullen, like where you were like, I still enjoy those games a lot, and I do it. I still enjoy a good amount of Square Enix. I'm not as much of a diehard fan as you, but like that's more like that's more like telling, is that like your diehard fans aren't what prop up your sales. Your general audience is, and we're already seeing their general audience sort of like have things to say about like, well, I didn't like this, and this was okay, and I guess this was fine, and you're seeing like a decline in like the general public opinion about Square Enix stuff. And I think like that trend will continue until eventually even the diehard fans are like, damn, this just ain't it.
If the 14 fans aren't happy, then I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, because those guys drink the fucking Kool-Aid, and so many of them are starting to play World of Warcraft now and are actually enjoying it. And that's the scary part. Because Final Fantasy 14 fans, like, even if they've never played World of Warcraft, hate World of Warcraft.
It's true. I did when I was a 14 fan, and I didn't even know why. I mean, if like Dawn Trail is anything to go off of, they'll just come back. You just dangle keys in front of those guys' faces, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's like, MMOs, right?
Yeah, for sure. But like, and again, I totally misjudged the situation. I thought Dawn Trail wouldn't do great, but apparently it did crazy good numbers. So I think that they should not rely on 14 to keep their company afloat. It's just not a good idea.
So this is what happens after an MMO, basically, I wouldn't say underperforms financially, but is extremely divisive among its community. That next expansion will not make as much money as the one that basically caused the division in the first place. Yeah. So the real test will be whatever expansion releases next. Because a lot of people were unhappy with the graphical changes. They didn't like the story. They didn't like the zone. It's overall like, and this is not just because I'm a hater or whatever. It's just it released and it wasn't very good, and I feel like that's what propped up World of Warcraft this year.
Yeah.
Because a better MMO expansion came out. Because I remember looking at sales numbers for like after Warlords of Draenor, which is like the worst received fucking WoW expansion ever, and then their subscriber numbers plummeted by about 5 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have to wait until like next year and see if maybe the content patches up to the next expansion like get people's interest again.
It kind of works that way for sequels and like long awaited games that people are like highly anticipated. Is always like I don't, this is not the perfect example, but like you can look at FF7 remake versus rebirth, where it's like
You can even look at 15 to 16.
Yeah, where like one of those did really well, but people were very mixed on it. And then the second one did not do as good because the people who were sort of negative about the first one were like, I think I'm going to sit the next one out.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a shame because Rebirth is so good.
I also want to circle back to bad marketing decisions, and I'll never forgive Square Enix for basically killing Deus Ex because of bad marketing decisions. Because of augmenting your pre-order.
Are you saying that Square Enix and bad marketing decisions are like, is that a thing? I don't know.
I'm just
Are you saying
I'm
that
just saying
they're bad at marketing?
I'm just saying they made some bad decisions, and studios and whatnot paid the price for it.
Yeah. I haven't forgiven them for Mankind Divided.
That sucks, man. I used to be like an influencer for that series, and I was like writing really hard for it, and then not only did the developers say like some really dumb shit, but like the augment your pre-order thing, and apparently the game was like basically cut in half because Square Enix wanted to make it until like, they wanted to have like a third game, and they wanted to do a TV show, they wanted to do movies, they wanted to do tie-in books, they wanted to do like the whole like, what is it, the compendium of like Final Fantasy VII or whatever for Deus Ex.
Yeah.
And then all of that died the moment Mankind Divided came out, and all those guys were moved to the Avengers.
So annoying. It sucks. Mankind Divided, by the way, really fun game, really good game. Sucks that it ends on a cliffhanger that we'll never see resolved.
I actually own it, and I think I want to play it now. Well, when I have more time, so like maybe next year. So
yeah, that game is a really good immersive sim, way better than Human Revolution.
Oh man, I love Human Revolution.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no. Okay, well, look forward to it, Burnout buddies. I might be back in my Deus Ex era.
So Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Good demo.
Good
I
demo?
haven't played it. I want to play it.
You should play it.
I hear there's permadeath in that game. It scares me.
It is. I have nothing to work with here because no one else has played this. I sincerely recommend everyone check this out with the understanding that the demo content stops right before the game opens up ridiculously much. Because the whole gimmick of the game is that you're not necessarily playing as like a character. You are playing a lineage of emperors. And if your emperor dies, you just get you pick a new one. And you like transfer like things over between, and you're like on the SNES when this came out, it was practically an open world game. So you can kind of
games are weird. I love it.
Yeah, it's what they've done with this particular one is kind of make the battle system a lot more easy to excuse me. Oh god.
No, I'll never forgive you.
Oh no, don't include this GC, please.
No, include it, GC.
Coin flip it and then decide. So what they've done is they've made it so that a lot of the battle system is a bit more easy to understand than a lot of previous Saga games. They have things like, enemy weaknesses just visible, right? Like as you look at them, everything is just it's very easy game to get into. I heard someone compare it to like Octopath Traveler and like some of the tweaks they've made, and I can kind of see it, but it still very much feels like Saga. They have like a whole system in place now that encourages like hitting enemy weaknesses that allows you to do like special united attacks and things like that. It's basically like, it is the ideal like faithful remake that you can think of. It's crazy good, and it looks good for its budget. It does not look like a high budget game, but it looks really good. Like, this is the best Saga has looked in fucking ever.
Cool.
I can't wait for you to play that full game.
I need a Square Enix. Give it to me. I know we just made fun of you, but give me it.
I don't think
Give me
anyone
it.
from Square listens to our podcast.
I know.
Yeah, we just
I
got other
always gotta
journalists
shoot-
listening.
I always gotta shoot my shot though. You know how it is.
Yeah. We got to get bigger, make us big. Then they can't ignore us.
All right, Google how to get big.
Don't Google
No,
that.
don't Google that.
I
Don't
didn't
Google
like
that.
what I saw.
Yeah, don't Google that, Cullen.
No. It's too big. But yeah, I sincerely recommend everyone check that out. I think that's gonna be my obsession game for the fall.
Speaking of obsession games, I'm gonna segue.
Sick.
On this podcast? No way.
Podcast.
On this podcast?
So I'm really, really deep in the World of Warcraft sauce. I have about 16 alts now.
Holy shit.
Most are close to level 80. And I'm having a really good time. So I played through the War Within. And for those of you that know what the War Within is, it's the latest World of Warcraft expansion. It's the first entry in the World Soul Saga. And they're introducing a new villain, a baddie named Zelatath, and her feet are always out, and everyone loves it.
Oh,
she's
GC,
actually-
your kind of game, huh?
GC,
Sorry,
foot
GC.
joke, ring the bell.
Counter.
Yeah.
Ding.
But I think it's really cool that Warcraft is trying to set up another villain that has some kind of long-standing presence, because we haven't really had that. I always say Arthas Menethil, but I brushed up on my Warcraft lore because Jake made a Maghar orc, and we're making characters, so I gotta know stuff. Since I want to say Garrosh Hellscream, GC, so I think that means something to you, but probably no one else.
True.
So it's cool that she's just kind of gonna be like a constant. And I really like that this game really commits to what it is. And it's very much the Stranger of Paradise of MMO expansions. Because it's so sincere in the story that it's trying to tell about like friendship and redemption and just believing in yourself, that it's just like, I'm like, oh, this is so corny and good. I love this. It's a complete, absolute, fantastic change of pace by comparison to Dawn Trail. It's not a slog. If you want to listen to optional content between characters, you can choose to do that, or you can just rush through the story if you want, which is nice. The world quests are fun because there's a lot of variety, either just like killing X amount of enemies or doing mini games. Even the crafting and gathering is fun. They've introduced like special nodes where you can overpower them for various effects. Our friend Devon like blew up and it just left his shoes like on the mountain. And I think shit like that is so fucking funny. The Earthen are really cool. GC is getting to experience the Earthen now, and the Arathi, and the Nerubians. Oh man, I like all of the
making up a bunch
factions.
of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's actually been a while since I've played a World of Warcraft expansion, and I've like been really engrossed in the different factions and races and like cultures that they've introduced or that they've expanded on in the expansion itself, because that's really what a lot of the War Within's like focus is on. Like the main campaign is definitely about like redemption and like unity and coming together and this and that or whatever. But as they do that, you learn more about the people that you're becoming friends with and the people you're allying
Farron.
with. Yeah,
She's the
Farron's
best.
so good.
She's so good.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be, well, to be more accurate, a friend of mine was talking to me about Farron, and she was worried because like Blizzard has a history of like tokenizing characters and stuff like that.
Look at Overwatch.
Look at Overwatch. Need I bring up the wheel, the Overwatch inclusivity wheel or whatever it's called?
Yeah, I was also terrified. So
yeah, and like what's great is like that doesn't really like, her character isn't really about the aspects of her that they could have easily made her character about, is what I'll say. where like her character, she is a realized character. She's just as realized as all the other characters in the game. And at no point do they sort of like stop her from having an arc or like stop the momentum of how she interacts with all the characters to be like, hey, by the way, this character is blah, blah, blah. And, you know, da, 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 da. And like,
I'll never forget Mass Effect Andromeda with this character being like, hi, this is my dead name. I left Earth because I'm transgender. And I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
what?
Yeah, like, my God. But that's so weird too, because like Inquisition has a better portrayal of that. Whatever. Let me not get into that right now. But yeah, like Farron's really cool and all the cultures are really cool. There's also like the villains of the story are sort of like foils to the heroes, where it's like for instance, as what's his name? Anduin?
Yeah, Anduin. I can't believe you'd forget his name. He was a baby when you met him the first time.
I
GC.
know. He was sitting, he was on the throne and he was like, he had generic child model number 2. And now he's a character. It's wild. Like as he rises or he's redeemed or he finds his sort of like his salvation or whatever, you can see other.
He gets over that dog being in him.
Yeah, as he gets over the dog being in him, you can see like the antagonists in the expansion sort of realize that they have that dog in them, and like you can see their fall from grace or like how they ended up where they were, or you kind of see like. You kind of see as one person rises, another person falls. And it's very simple. It's nothing new. It's nothing like complex.
Not revelatory.
Yeah, but like it's really nice to fucking have a story that is just very earnest, and it's like, this is a story about this and this is what it's going to be about. And we're not going to get into the intricacies of like political turmoil or discuss whether or not we're justified in going to a place and subjugating the people there, or like we're not going to have those discussions here. This isn't what this is about. We're not going to try to say anything meaningful because I don't think we can. Instead, we're just going to focus on something simple and something that we do understand, and that's interpersonal communication and like relationships and sort of like self-discovery, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You can make an expansion about that.
Speaking of politics, have you picked your faction for the bugs yet?
No, I haven't.
So when you do, they're like, hey, can you go like get some gossip for me? Because we're like a really like nasty society where we all backstab each other for political gain. So I'm choosing to get information for the general, and he's like steeples his bug fingers. Yes. And it's just like idle gossip. It's very funny. It's like a bunch of like nobles being irritating.
I really want them to make so many of the races that are in that expansion playable. I really want to play as an Ascended.
So bad.
I want to play as the Bat Trolls.
Yes. Oh god, World
cool.
of Warcraft, good. I'm glad that I can enjoy a video game again because it's been so long. Also, being part of the community, I have no idea what changed, because a lot of people that I talked to that played vanilla were like, God, the community for this game was rancid. But I've had nothing but really positive experiences. Jake was even playing as warrior, and someone DM'd him and was like, hey, are you a new warrior? Is it okay if I give you some tips? And they weren't being abrasive and calling him a slur or anything. Mm-hmm. And now his warrior does like crazy good damage because they taught him a rotation in the middle of a dungeon. It's really interesting. And I've also started watching the World First progression. Have you checked that out at all, GC, for the new raid?
No, I haven't.
It's crazy. Basically, the top teams in the world were stuck on a world boss for like 4 days, and they beat one last night. And seeing all these like mechanics for I think it's like, is it Heroic or Mythic Plus? I think it's Mythic Plus, right?
Mythic Plus.
Yeah, it's Mythic Plus. The mechanics are crazy, but also the raiders are so funny. It's, again, such a departure of like what I'm used to in 14, where everybody's silent and like that image of the white guy with the vein?
Yeah.
That's exactly what the 14 raid, like community, like the really serious raid community feels like, Whereas like the WoW raid community is like a bunch of death knights circling the butt of this giant maggot shouting ass gang. So like it's just like things like that, or like the tank being like, thanks for breathing on me, babe, because their healer's a Drakthir evoker and the heal is literally like, I'm spitting on you.
I think it's like it's a time thing, right? Like I think World of Warcraft raids used to be very like hardcore and people were like very much the way FF14 raids are now. But over time they've all become like they've all burnt out on it, right? Like they've all been doing it for so long that now like through tired eyes they're just like, ha, like what the fuck ever, man. We do this every fucking update. Let's go, you know?
Yeah, like I heard Icecrown Citadel took some people a year to complete.
Yeah.
And like that was
right?
it. Yeah.
Like
you don't know what
they're
Icecrown
hard.
Citadel is, Cullen, and you never will. Just know it's like one of the keystones of the entire Warcraft franchise. And it's also what destroyed friendships and made people burn out on raiding, because it literally took them an entire year. You've played Final Fantasy raids, right?
Not too many of them, but I get the general idea that they're toxic and evil.
Well, just like think of the scale of Final Fantasy 14 raids, but then multiply that by about 10.
Oh my god, the number's big.
Yeah, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of different boss fights and a lot of different strategies and people literally swapping in and out of groups to change party comps to beat bosses.
Yeah, and people are like, and like, I think the way it works, I don't know if it works like this way in 14, but I think the way it works in World of Warcraft is you can literally stop doing the raid and come back.
No, you can't do that in 14.
Within a certain amount of time. You can do it in WoW though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you'll have like a certain number of bosses completed and it's like, fuck, we gotta stop for the day. And then you gotta pick it up again another time before the weekly reset.
I wish I was there for like launch Wrath, because I would have loved to hear like the reaction of like all the range characters sitting on the edge of the ring and then it just drops when he plunges his sword into the ground. Oh, I would have loved to be there. Or when he instant kills your entire party. Oh, God. They're just like moments like that, right? Where like a part of me is like, I wish I could go back and experience these things, like with Tyrannus reviving you during that fight, or experiencing like the fall of Kel'Thuzad. You know, the highs and lows of World of Warcraft, like that one Riverdale meme, you know?
Yeah. I guess that's what
but a
Season
part
of
of me is
Discovery
glad I
about.
didn't. Yeah, but do you think Season of Discovery is ever gonna like introduce expansions?
I would hope not. I quite like the way at least the first 3 phases, I quite liked what they were doing. I think they're on season 5 now. I don't know what they're doing with season 5, but yeah, no.
They've actually introduced unique NPCs into Season of Discovery.
Yeah. It's wild.
That's crazy.
I love it.
Low poly elf woman, save me. Well, GC, GC and I've been playing World of Warcraft because we're colleagues now, everybody. Yay!
Ooh.
GC also works at Silicon Era now, so go read his guides. They're really detailed and really good. Like, really, really good. So, if you need help in World of Warcraft, or in Fortnite, or in Diablo,
I haven't
go
done
check
any
out
Diablos
his guide.
yet.
Oh my god, I gotta get you through the base game because the expansion's coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but besides like World of Warcraft and Dragon Quest and Persona 3 Reload, I went back to Inquisition yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Inquisition
how's the egg?
update.
Here's your Inquisition update. My build is finally starting to do a lot of damage, so I'm getting through the activities faster. But I don't, Dad, it's too big. It's too big. It's too fucking big. I'm not even close to being done and I'm already 40 hours in and I'm just like, I want this to end. And I know what everyone is thinking. GC, you can just go do the main thing and then be done with it. But it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the
Or they're
same.
thinking, GC, you could just stop playing.
No, because I got to be ready for Veilguard.
Looks at camera. Anyway, continue, GC.
I know we don't have to finish games. I know I'm the one that made that video. I know.
See, you told on yourself there, because I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking the normal human person response of if you don't like something, hit the bricks.
Yeah. Like, I know, but for the sake of like,
But for the sake of GC winning the argument, he cannot stop
I'm
playing
a lore
this game.
hound, and I'm a big completionist, and I do like
Wait,
Dragon
I thought
Age.
lore wasn't. I thought you made another video about how lore
okay.
wasn't everything.
Yes, and it's not. But I like the one in Dragon Age. I like.
But you
the
don't
stuff
like
in Dragon
it.
Age.
You're not having fun.
I'm not having fun playing the game. I'm having fun like seeing the interactions and seeing how the world builds out, and like I know previously I was like, it's not as good as before, but like it's still decent. It's still like good enough. And I just like I want to know
40 hours.
I know.
We only have so many hours in our lives.
I know.
40 hours for good enough.
Yeah. I played Yakuza 6 from front to back. Okay? I've wasted my life. Anyway, Dragon Age Inquisition, too damn long. Can't wait to be done with it. I want to be ready for Veilguard. I want to know what they do with it. If they end up doing nothing with any of the stuff in Inquisition, I don't know how I'll feel. I guess I'll tell you when I play Veilguard.
Okay.
I forgot what I was gonna ask you, GC.
And I think that's all I've been playing. I don't think there's anything. I resubbed to SWOTOR, and I started playing.
How are you liking SWOTOR?
SWOTOR is a really good MMO. It continues to be good. I'm playing a Trooper for the first time. Trooper Stories is actually pretty interesting. Somewhat of a slow start, but it has a nice little twist at the end of the opening area to really set you on your way. And excited to keep playing that with my friends. That's it, I think. Yeah.
But how about that new Yakuza game, GC?
I haven't seen anything about it.
Oh,
but
good.
Yeah.
We don't get to talk about Yakuza. We've been saved.
Yay.
I'll probably have more to say next podcast. I'm probably going to stream myself watching the summit tomorrow.
I mean, I think it's only like a 6-minute long summit.
Is it actually like fast? It's not like the 40-minute one.
There was only one announcement.
It's not the 40-minute. Well,
no. So there were several announcements. One of which was the what's it called? The Netflix show where they showed off Majima and he looks like he has spray painted abs.
Oh God.
Yeah, there is a lot to this.
They also talked about Majima Yakuza in Hawaiian or something. Sorry. Like a Dragon pirate Yakuza.
Don't say too much because GC
Hawaii.
No, it's okay.
Want...
It's okay for the sake of the podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah, all I can say is that Shitburger's back, baby. I can't wait for all of us to be in Shitburger.
Well, I have to say, I might not be joining you in Shitburger. When I get my ticket to the pirate restaurant, I might be going to dine on my steak because I saw some bits of that combat, and I won't say it for GC's sake, but I was like, hold on, this looks kind of cool.
I'm gonna say all I know is, and the only thing that I have to comment on right now is Like a Dragon Gaiden box arts are going to fucking suck for the rest of existence because that box art looks like shit.
Also, I think the title's bad.
Well,
the title is also
bad. The thing about producers and Japanese studios and game directors, I think it's applicable with the Yakuza series. I just have a feeling.
Yeah.
So,
I'm honestly optimistic about this one. It looked fun. That's all I got. It looked fun. I felt things of joy I did not even feel when Infinite Wealth got announced. They got me at least back in. I am interested to go around and explore Hawaii without that, and this is going to be very spicy, so I apologize to our Shitburger fans. The fucking garbage turn-based combat that slows the entire game down to a crawl.
No, I hate that combat too. I can't stand it.
Boring.
I need it to get out of there.
And honestly, like just seeing the action combat back and it looking this good, I'm like, that was kind of all I needed. I'll probably enjoy even like the setting, which is just Infinite Wealths. Like they sure reused that map. They sure reused that dang map.
I'm not gonna rain on your parade because I'll probably have fun playing it, even though I'll have a lot to say about it regardless. But I will say they have a history. The Ryuga Gotoku Studios has a history of over promising in their previews and their trailers, and they know how to hype up their games, but their games never live up to the hype.
Oh, for sure.
They know how to cut a trailer. They know how to cut a trailer, but I guarantee you a lot of those moments that you see in the trailer are the highest moments in the game.
It's funny that you bring this up because I'm not like, I totally agree with you. And there's even a part that I was like, I saw and I immediately was thinking this, and maybe you were thinking this as well, Kazuma. There's a part in the trailer where, it's showing the moment where Majima gets his boat and it's like, you're going to be the new captain because of what you did to the last captain. You're going to be the guy. And in the back of my head, the shittiest, bitchiest, pettiest part of me was just like, I bet that takes place 10 hours in.
Yes. Also, for some reason, his young child companion has a tiger cub with him, and they're in Hawaii. So
I just like, I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna be like, look at all these sick mini games you can do, and then the mini games are not gonna be very good, or they're gonna be very limited, or they're gonna be like way too hyped up for what they are.
I wish everyone would kind of realize that their games are not super polished anymore, and those mini games are super janky now.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not fun.
I am all for asset reuse when it's done intelligently, when it's done effectively and stuff like that. And I understand that their development cycles are such because they do that and they can afford to do that because of those reasons. I earnestly believe the annualization of this series is going to kill it if it's not already killing it. And I think eventually people are going to wise up to what's happening and that they're being fed the same mini games over and over again. They're being fed,
and like, at worse quality.
Yeah, and at worse quality, like they're going to be fed like the same combat systems but worse or dated or, stuff like that. And like, I've seen a little bit of the combat in the Majima game. I've seen a little bit. I've seen some GIFs because Twitter can't help but,
of course,
paste everything on the wall when it shows up. And like, just because Majima can do launchers and air combos,
that's what I was. Yeah, that is honestly what sold me.
Just because he can do that now doesn't mean that novelty is not going, may not last the entire game. And that was my problem with Gaiden, where they introduced new fighting styles for Kiryu, and I was like, oh, this is actually really exciting. And then I played it, and the agent style is way too overpowered and unbalanced, and it turns everything into a very boring, very oversimplified game. And then the Yakuza style, which shouldn't even be called that to begin with, but whatever. The Yakuza style in comparison is really not as useful. And I feel like we're going to run into the same situation where Majima is going to have a really busted fighting style that's going to overpower everything else. And then it's going to overshadow everything else around it. And I beg people, do not tunnel vision yourself into being like this one aspect. Well, I can't even say that. Like, just curb your expectations so that you can have a good time.
I think this will be the greatest game of all time. It's going to be the #1 game. I don't think any game's going to be better. You can juggle people with the kicks.
You say that.
Air.
You say that, and I know you're joking.
Am I?
But there's people out there who genuinely are like, this is going to be the greatest Like a Dragon game they've ever made. And it's like, and I wish,
I keep saying this, but they're just so low quality now, if you know what I mean. Like, the character models, like, the environments are big, but they're kind of empty and nothing. It's weird. Like,
Go
This
back
wasn't
and
a
play
case in the
like
older
an older
games.
one. Yeah, go back and play an
Yeah.
older one. Like go play Yakuza 4. Go play Yakuza 4. Like and compare that to the things you can do in Infinite Wealth and compare the density of that sandbox to that of like Hawaii, and you're going to see the stuff that's like not there. And people tell me this all the time in my comment section on YouTube. Like people will tell me on my Yakuza series, man, if you play these back to back, you can actually see a huge decline in the overall quality. Not to say that janky or like a game not being as polished is inherently bad, but like compared to what we've gotten before, there is a distinctive, significant sort of, it's not a lack of effort. We can't call it that because that's not fair to the people that make those games. But there is a distinct,
Probably lack of time.
there's a lack of
Or
time.
yearly.
There's a lack of time, and like there's almost an urge. It feels like the people up top are urging them not to spend as much time on the things they're working on as they should. It's like I want this done by this time. Oh, what about these features in it? We don't need that. People are going to play this regardless. And like I feel like that is the sentiment behind the series now. It's don't worry about that. Who cares about that? People are going to buy this and play this regardless of what we do, because we're going to include their favorite characters and they're going to do wacky, zany things. And I feel like a Dragon so far is getting by on creating ridiculous premises or having celebrity guest characters or guest actors show up or overpromising in their trailers, and people buy into the hype and they do just enough to carry that hype. But if you really take your time to like study the game, or if you take the time to pay attention to the quality of what you're playing, like it's there. And I know everybody feels it. I know everybody that plays these games feel it. They don't want to admit it, but like they feel it. You play it and you can tell. There is a huge difference between the way Infinite Wealth made me feel than the way Yakuza 4 or 2 or 3 or even 5 made me feel.
The decline in the quality of storytelling is also a big one. Like you mentioned, it's all zany shit. Like, it's like they saw that was really popular with like the fucking chicken from Yakuza 0, and they just went whole hog with all of it. And whatever interesting narrative was there is like stripped down to being dumb, stupid shit.
Yeah, and they really leaned into the meme aspects of the series, and like what made the meme aspects of the series really good is that they were very specific, precise, like jabs of comedy. They were like little moments of comedy and largely relegated to side quests and stuff like that. And like granted, with Ichiban as a main character, there's more comedy because he's a funny character. But comedy is very hard to do. And the problem with Yakuza's or Like a Dragon style of comedy, and I know I'm ranking on the series, but it's just because like I really like this series. I actually really like this fucking series. I just don't like to see it sort of squander its like now that it's popular, it seems to not give as much of a fuck about being quality. It seems to just ride on the high of being popular. And I sound like a fucking hipster, but like it is happening. And like, yeah, Like a Dragon style of comedy gets old very fast because it's
not funny.
It's not that it was funny at one point. Like, and it still gets a laugh out of me sometimes, but like it is a specific brand of comedy that is good in very small doses. It cannot carry an entire game. It cannot happen all the time. It cannot be the punchline cannot be the same style of punchline every sub story, every comedic moment. But that's what they've been doing, and that's what it is. And it's like, if you're gonna lean into the comedy parts, you've got to be smarter about the comedy. You've got to be clever. You can't go for this slapstick like. There's a name for it in Japanese. What is the fucking name for it?
God, I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember it either because back when they used to have the RGG show, like every week, they would literally invite like these fucking annoying comedians on there to do this exact thing.
Manzai.
Yeah, there we go.
I think that's what it is. Like it is like this slapstick sort of like It's always two people, and like one of them is the straight guy, one of them is the color guy, and like the color guy says like really silly things, and then the straight guy is always like, that's stupid, smack. And like that's the entire comedy of the Like a Dragon series. And if you are fed that over and over again, you get really tired of it. And it doesn't like it burns you the fuck out. Like it gets really annoying after a while. I don't know, just whatever. I like pirates. I'll play the pirate game. I like Majima. I'll play the Majima game. And then I report back, you know, in March or February or whenever it comes out, February, whatever. And then and I'll make a video on it, and everybody will be angry at me because I, you know.
What if you love it?
That'd be great.
I know he won't.
I think you will, GC.
I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed 4.
Soldier.
I love Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah, but Assassin's Creed 4 had good writing.
If Assassin's Creed, if this game tries to be Assassin's Creed 4 and doesn't nail it, I'm probably not gonna like it. But also, if this game has about as much, if this game is another Gaiden, and I know it's already in the Gaiden series, but I mean, like, if it is just like a Dragon Gaiden, I might end up chalking it up to the content mill. But I want to like it. Please God, everyone, like, I hope people believe me when I say this. When a new Yakuza game gets announced, when a new Like a Dragon game gets announced, I am excited. I look forward to playing them. I'm just also very acutely aware of the trends the series is going, and it worries me. So like my expectations are naturally curved, but that doesn't mean that I'm not excited. It doesn't mean I'm going to try to find reasons to not like the game. I go in with an open mind. I liked Infinite Wealth well enough. Like it's
Even
gonna
though it
be a
brought
good
us
time.
together over our shared pain.
Yes.
You know, I'm actually looking forward to that Yakuza Kiwami Switch port as like a nice like reset of sorts, like a palate cleanser.
Yeah, sure. Kiwami's a fine game.
I did not like it when I played it ages ago. That was one of my first ever like pre-launch reviews, and I was kind of just like, oh.
Had you played the Yakuza series before that?
A bit of Zero, and then like some of the PS3 games.
Because like in my opinion, Kiwami's a terrible start.
Yeah.
This, like you shouldn't start with Kiwami. You should start with Zero or the original one.
That was the first Yakuza game I ever finished. So yeah.
You should have finished Zero, then gone into Kiwami.
I think Zero's okay.
Yeah.
It's just there's like so much stuff that like enhances Kiwami.
I saw most of that. I just didn't finish Zero. Because I got I don't even remember. That was years ago. I think all of that stuff is really good, and you can definitely notice it in Kiwami. I just think the bosses of Kiwami are kind of trash.
Yeah, because it's just the PS2 bosses. I think who the fuck is the patriarch of Majima's former clan? Who's that guy? The bald guy, GC.
Shimano.
Shimano. His fucking theme goes so hard in Kiwami. I'm like, you know what? This is a vast improvement on the original theme, and this is really one of the only things I like about Kiwami, other than the Nishiki stuff.
Nishiki stuff's pretty good.
Kiwami has a terrible opening because of how it depowers you, and if you're not a Like a Dragon veteran, that depowering in the first like 2 hours of the game fucking sucks, and like it makes you feel miserable. And people stop playing Kiwami because of that moment. I had a friend who I literally watched a friend give up on the series because he picked up Kiwami, played the first 2 hours, and when they depowered him, and he lost all of his moves, he was like, "This isn't fun anymore. I don't want to play it." And I totally
that's what going to jail will do to you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just it was that's their biggest mistake with Kiwami was giving you like Kiryu's entire kit at the start and then taking it away from you and telling you level it up and unlock it. And like,
yeah, because the original didn't have the style system. So at least it was just like, oh, I no longer have my tiger drop. I guess I just got to get my tiger drop back, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Kiwami's like, I got to level up all of my modes again. Boo.
It sucks.
Missed opportunity to not like package in that HD collection of 1 and 2 because I know people want it. Like
you are so, people want it. You want it. You want it.
All right.
No, I actually think Yakuza 1 and the original Yakuza 2 are a lot better.
Yeah.
But I think with Yakuza 2, it wasn't written by the team. It was written by some fucking racist ass crime novelist. And they didn't get the band back that did the music in 2 for
Crazy Ken Band.
Crazy Ken Band.
Oh,
See, as you can tell,
stuff's
I've
so
stopped
good.
giving a shit about this series because all of it's out of my head. Like, I don't remember fuck shit. And I owned, like, every single English and Japanese edition of that game series up to 6.
I just think it would be a fun novelty, and that would definitely get people talking.
Yeah.
Well, also, it looks better than Kiwami 2.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, it looks
God,
better
yeah.
than
I mean,
Kiwami 1 as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was like, oh, Ryuji kind of fine, but nah, I don't know.
Kiwami 2 is a doo-doo poo-poo game.
Bring back Dead
Doo-doo
Souls.
Poo-poo idiot game for stupid doo-doo dumb babies.
You're making Gaidens. Bring back Dead Souls.
You know what I'm not looking forward to in the new Majima game? How shitty the music's gonna be.
Oh,
What's the fucking like Barracuda?
Barracuda. That one grew on me. I kind of like Barracuda.
GC's like, I love the taste
Barracuda.
of shit burger, actually.
I don't like shit burger, but the
The
tomatoes
shit
are
burger-
nice. The tomatoes are nice.
No, GC's eating the shit burger. It's like all of us eating the shit burger at shit burger, and GC's like, wow, like what radio station is this? This is like actually pretty good.
GC, don't become like them.
I'm not becoming like them, damn it. I'm being myself.
I'm going to eat the Majima burger.
We need to get GC to play Final Fantasy 14. He needs to stay. He needs to fucking
You're
stay.
trying to keep him a hater. You're trying to keep him bitter. I say,
I'm not a
GC,
hater, damn it.
embrace life. Embrace the beauty of enjoying things.
I embrace life. I enjoy things. I enjoy my friends, my family. I like going outside. I like taking car rides. I like good food. I
You're just
like drinking
Sora. You should
water.
really play the Kingdom Hearts games.
I like
drinking
music.
water.
I like music. I like going to the pool. I like sitting in my bed on a cold winter day with the blinds open and just listening to the tranquility of life around me.
February, I'm gonna eat some shit.
Okay,
Wait, is it releasing in February?
February 25th.
I'm
Oh
not
my
a
god,
fucking
that's like
hater.
around my birthday. Boo!
Oh, shit burger for your birthday.
I'm not a fucking hater, okay? Video games just suck sometimes.
I'm going to say this because I know Kazuma will forget, but around Infinite Wealth, Kazuma was like, I'm done with the series forever. Kazuma,
Yeah.
if you do not somehow end up covering this game, I'm buying this for you for your birthday because it's funny.
If any
don't even have
journalist
to
or
play
editor, if any editor is out there like that wants me to review this game, I will do it so Cullen doesn't have to spend the money.
I just realized we're in a Steam family, so you'll be obligated to play it no matter what.
Yeah. Though I don't think Sega likes me anymore.
Sega,
I don't think
come
Sega
on.
cares for me because I keep rating their Yakuza games and I'm just like, it just wasn't that good. It's not living up to the hype.
Oh, well, if they don't like you, then they definitely don't like me. Here's my review of the Majima game. I played it ahead of time. I went to the future.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my review of the Majima game.
I
I should
love
like
that.
torture you in a basement for a year, GC.
And then if the Majima game has good ship combat,
But what about the music, GC? What about like
That was the music.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say an EDM hip hop remix of the Pirates of the Caribbean theme by Hans Zimmer.
I've been on YouTube
Ugh.
already. We don't need that.
Hans Zimmer, you're a fucking hack.
Is he?
I
I
mean,
think
he's
he
made a
is.
lot of interesting soundtracks that sound different from each other. So
Oh, that's
He has
the
a
bar
master
now.
class.
This is different.
So it's dubious.
yeah, I
Anyone
mean,
with
like,
a
it's
master
just-
class, I'm immediately suspicious of.
I think it's just that he has range. I don't think he's necessarily good, but he's capable of making a wide variety of music, which is
Yeah.
like more than most.
He can match tone
Yeah.
or create. I don't
Unlike
know.
John Williams or whatever, who, well, I mean, he can too, but it's like, when his name is attached, they're like, please nominate us for an award.
Oscar, please now.
Please. I'm looking at you, The Patriot, one of the worst movies I've ever watched.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to talk about 2 horror games I played recently, but we went to Shipburgers, so I don't know if we have time anymore.
I mean, we
Play
have
Hollow
as much-
Body.
I mean, we have as much time as you want.
No, we don't.
Are you
There's no more
dying?
time. Yeah.
Oh.
And
Okay,
sense
well.
the dead corpse of Cullen 1 over there.
Oh, okay.
It smells really bad. I mean, we're gonna do
GC
questions, right?
GC, you have to get the sword. You need to bring him back.
You have to get the sword, GC. And unfortunately, to get the sword, you have to do a full stream playthrough of Hollow Body. It's
I
the
guess he's
only way
lost
to-
forever.
Hollow Body's not scary.
It is kind of scary.
It's not. It's more atmospheric.
Guess what? The atmosphere is scary.
It's fine. Okay, don't take my word for it, because I'm like someone that's like, oh, it's fine. You know, I'm like playing a horror game and all my friends are freaked out, and I'm like,
A
anyways,
person who cannot feel emotion. Oh, I don't get
yeah.
it.
Well, it's more like I'm like, okay, we're gonna pick up the knife and drop everything else. We can do this in half an hour.
Like, I was literally playing the beginning of Hollow Body on a call with Kaz, and I was like freaking the fuck out the entire time. And Kaz was like, I was like, oh my god, isn't that like really spooky? And Kaz was like,
It's fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Probably playing WoW the entire time. I was like, oh.
I think I was playing WoW.
Just like in the distance, you just hear like, mm.
First of all, no one's clicking while they're playing WoW. They're using the keyboard.
Oh my
No,
god.
no, I
okay,
click my
fine.
skills. I no,
click?
GC, I
This is
click
for you,
all of my
GC.
skills.
Oh my god, get some fucking mouse buttons.
No, I mean I do, but I don't like using them.
Oh,
I only use them when I play Valorant to like reload.
damn, that's actually really smart. I never thought about using my mouse buttons to map reload to it.
Yeah, it's because like in Valorant, the reload keys like mapped really weirdly, and I basically like reconfigured all my skills to be where like the League of Legends skills are. So I have like the same muscle memory from League when I play Valorant when it comes to popping my skills, and then I just use my mouse button to reload.
Oh,
But the other horror game I was going to talk about, and it's not
It's
really
Valorant.
horror.
Sorry.
Oh god, no, that is horrifying. No, it's just Dead Rising. Dead
Oh, was
Rising
it
came
good?
out like yesterday.
Oh, was it fun?
That remake's good as fuck. I cannot
It's
wait to
good.
play more.
it's real good.
It's-
Saw Cullen play it. It's really good.
I'm like, Capcom, you're kind of like killing it across the board no matter what you guys do. So thanks. Like, I know like not all of us here love like Dragon's Dogma 2, but they like undoubtedly are like, they make games that have like widespread impact and are doing things that not a lot of other games are doing, and I guess doing them in ways that are cheap enough. I don't know. Like Capcom seems to be doing fine, and you play a game like Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, and you're just like, oh, we're so back. Oh my god, they understood everything to the most minute detail.
It's kind of wild that RE engine was probably one of the best investments they ever made.
It do work.
No, it's great. It's just I don't know what they're doing, but they seem to have people that understand what makes the games that they're making popular. They don't try to like they have, at least to my knowledge, they haven't been trying to ride trends. They've just been sticking to what they're doing and what works for them. And like who would have thought? Who would have thought that would be enough to whatever?
The rest of the industry is like floundering about, and I think the only 2 devs I know are consistently doing okay for themselves is Capcom and Nintendo.
I feel like I don't know if this was the case, but I almost feel like during the pandemic, Capcom did not like. I don't think they went for like the ultra expansion that all these other companies did. I think Capcom actually played it safe and just.
They
stuck
learned
to-
from the PS3 era when they were literally going to like lose their company.
They
Yeah,
lock the fuck in.
Yeah, they were like, we've learned from our mistakes. Meanwhile, everybody is experiencing those mistakes right now.
Or it's like, we got too big and round in 2020. Fuck.
Yeah.
Go lay off a bunch of people. I'm not giving up my yacht.
I think like to be a little bit cynical and to not give them too much credit because they are a
Cynical
corporation.
on this podcast. Oh.
Because they are a corporation and so on and so forth. Maybe the losses they accrued during previous eras sort of forced them to play it safe during a time where everybody else wasn't playing it safe. And that in the long run ended up saving their skin. So potentially Capcom could still fuck it up in the years to come, depending on what happens. But they seem to have been in the right place at the right time.
What they've been doing is like they've actually increased like the base salary of people that they're hiring. Like that's what they're doing instead of like expanding like crazy. They're just increasing the wage for workers because they're having to compete with other Japanese companies.
Yeah.
And I think you don't get quality this consistent unless you know how to play it safe. And they definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only game of theirs that like we probably know is like kind of a bit of a flop was like Exo Primal.
Yeah.
Even that had like
some buzz.
Even that had a modicum of success.
And it's like it seems like everyone who played it liked it. Like the reviews are positive.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think it probably suffered from the live service
mm-hmm.
curse of like everybody wants to make a live service game, but live service games don't actually do that well aside from the ones that are already established.
And unlike Square Enix, Capcom made one and was like, oh no.
If anything, like the one thing you can say about Capcom that's sort of like the one, I guess, criticism you can leverage at Capcom is that they're sticking with their IPs and they aren't like releasing a ton of new stuff. A lot of their like heavy hitter games and a lot of their lineup is just stuff that they've been making for years, but that's working for them. So whatever. I'm very excited to hopefully see an update for Lost Planet 2 that removes the games for Windows Live requirement.
And we're all going to play Lost Planet together.
I've never played a Lost Planet game.
Lost Planet's crazy. It goes from like being like a third person shooter to a fucking Gundam game.
Yeah. I have played. Okay, I guess I can't say I have never played a Lost Planet game because I definitely played that like Japanese.
The third one?
No, the Japanese exclusive anime one. What's that fun fucking called? EX Troopers or whatever? You guys don't know?
Never. No.
You don't know what EX Troopers is?
No.
What the fuck?
I know Lost Planet 2, Lost Planet 1, and then Lost Planet 3 killed the franchise because they pivoted to what was industry trends at the time.
Yeah. You'll like Lost Planet. It's basically Monster Hunter with guns.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Neither of you have ever heard of EX Troopers. I posted the box art in our little thing.
No.
It's a 3DS game. That's why I've never heard about it.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was a 3DS and PS3 game.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard about it.
Is that really part of Lost Planet? It is.
Yeah.
It's a spinoff.
It's like it was one of the most like highly requested games to get localized of that era, and Capcom just didn't. But you know what? We're in our like the Capcom backlog era where they're just pulling everything out and localizing it. I think another game I couldn't talk about last podcast was the fucking Edgeworth collection, which I don't know if either of you have played it. It is fantastic. They fully localized the second Edgeworth Investigations game. Guess what? Those games are long as fuck and have a ton of text.
Cool.
They just did that. GC, you should definitely play the Edgeworth games. They're so good.
The
second one is good.
I want to go back to streaming Ace Attorney, doing all the voices and stuff, and I want to go through the whole franchise.
You should.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun doing the voice acting for that game. That was fun.
But yeah, that's our ADHD shitburger cast. Unless you guys want to talk about anything else that's been happening, I guess we could answer some questions.
Yeah, let's answer some questions.
We do have a couple questions from the Discord, actually.
Oh, we do? Oh, shit, I forgot to make our questions channel. Shit.
It's okay. GC did the cardinal sin of adding everyone in general.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, my God.
We have a community Discord now that you can join and ask us questions in and hang out and talk about games and what you're doing, writing, anime you're watching, movies you're watching, anything really. Just whatever you want to talk about. We've got a section for it. We've got a nice little community building up. People like to share stuff. We have a good time. And on that Discord, you can also ask us questions. And here are some of those questions. Take it away, Cullen.
Fuck. I was like, damn, GC's taking it away from me. I don't get to do anything. Hee hee hee. But I will do my job. We got one question. Pi says, stop recording.
Okay.
That's not a question.
Rider
Okay.
Strike says, have any of you ever done a kickflip? No.
I have done a heel flip, but I could never do a kick flip because
No,
I
I
am a
couldn't.
goofy Mongo skateboarder. And that's going
I
to
like
upset some
longboards.
people.
And you can't do shit with those, but just hang out.
I liked surfing. That's why I never touched a skateboard.
I love your humble brag there. It's like, oh, I would surf. Like, the thing that's impossible to do for most people.
Really?
It's like, ugh,
Surfing's not that hard.
what the fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about? Surfing's super hard.
No, I can surf.
I'm so fucking
You just
sick
wait
of-
for a fucking
I'm
wave and you
so
stand
sick
up.
of
What's
these
so hard
alpha
about
gamers. I'm so sick of it.
We need Jake to
Kazuma
come
was
back on
like-
the podcast right now.
like Kazuma saying like, oh yeah, now that we're like 14 episodes in, there's no way we could break up. It's just like lingering in my head. And it's like sometimes I'll be like, Kazuma and I will be playing a game together, when I will not speak its name. And I'll be like, this is really hard. And Kazuma goes, oh, you little baby. That
No,
not
I was
difficult for me."
literally like, I was like, you thought that was hard?
Is that not like the shittiest thing?
I was just surprised, okay?
you plebeian. I've been playing RPGs since 1980. Oh,
My
did
back,
good.
oh.
Oh, my back. Come on. Oh, and I point and I laugh, and then I go, I am kind of a little dumb baby, though.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that later.
You ever
Yep.
done a kick flip on your surfboard?
No, my God, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be sick as hell. Anyway.
Sorry, GC, cut this part out. My roommate was like, you want Dairy Queen? And obviously, like, I'm on a diet. So I
you
said yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I said yes. You can include this if you want. I don't really give a fuck. So I have to then go, he's like, what do you want? I'm like, dealer's choice? I don't know.
Dealer's choice. They give
You're
you
gonna
like a
get,
bunch of
like-
playing cards mixed in with your fucking Blizzard.
All right, next
Were those
question.
all of our questions? Okay.
No, we
No,
got
we've
some.
got two more.
Snig says, hey yo, Burnout Buttos. I just moved into a new home and everything is in disarray. What do you suggest I prioritize getting done first as everything is unpacked? PC and everything else can come later. Finding places for my figurines so Sephiroth can watch me over in my brand new master bathroom. That's actually smart. I have him looking at my like dining room table. So when I eat meals with my girlfriend, Sephiroth is just there as well.
Okay.
Your faithful Burnout cult member, Sam G from Detroit.
So, first of all, your bed is the first thing that you want to set up. And your bathroom, along with basic kitchen utensils, because you got to cook for yourself. You need a good place to sleep, because if you're not sleeping well, then you're not going to be able to unpack things properly. And bathroom, because you should have a nice place to take a shit and shower. So
You've got a tub. You can put you can put bedding in the tub. You can shit in the bedrooms. I think you're fine. What you got to do though is start unpacking all that gaming stuff. Got to unpack all of your games. I think it's kind of like, blasé to like set them up on shelves. So what you got to do is take all of your discs and just spread them out on the ground. And then that way you can just like look through them whenever you want to play something and you don't need to worry about anything else.
I highly recommend, if you haven't done this already, to make sure you've got all of your furniture where you want it to be. After you do your bedroom and your kitchen and your bathroom, lay out your furniture the way that it's going to be. And then be sure that's where you want your furniture to be, because the minute you start unpacking everything and putting stuff on shelves and in cabinets or in like a media display or a shelf, What's going to end up happening is if you have to move those things, you're going to have to basically undo everything you've done. You're going to have to take everything off of those furniture pieces and move them around again and then put everything back. And if you're like me, where you make little shrines dedicated to franchises you like or are invested in, that's going to take a lot of time if you get it wrong. So do that. I recommend you do your PC first and everything else can come later, definitely. Unpack your most important things and then the least important things like your figures and your posters and stuff actually everything that goes on a wall should probably go up first because your furniture is going to block your ability to put the stuff on the walls. So I would actually do the stuff on the walls first. But then after that, like you can slowly, like, even if you do it a box a day, unpack something, display it, store it, whatever you're going to do with it. And then, the next day you could do another box and another one and so on. And take it easy, because once you've got your PC and all your essentials out, you can more or less kind of cruise the rest of the unpacking process. So yeah, I moved around a lot.
Same. So what's our next question?
With Reynaudis coming out, I really wanted to know, what is your favorite jank as fuck 6 out of 10 game?
The Last Remnant.
Stranger Paradise.
Okay, neither of those games are 6s.
The Last Remnant is a fucking 6 out of 10 game.
Yeah, and Stranger Paradise might be a really good game, but it's not like the performance when I played it wasn't very good.
Fair enough. I will cheap out and say Reynaudis, because I'm playing it right now, but I missed embargo because when my editor sent me my code, he didn't because typically in the Discord he'll be like, oh, this is the embargo info. He just sent me the review guide and they presented it on a black, like the embargo text was red in the top right corner over black, like a black background, and I completely missed it. Don't get that game on Switch. Do not. It's not good on Switch.
Damn. Another victim of the Switch curse.
Yeah.
One more question.
One more. Well, we have an email as well.
Ooh.
Howdy, Burnout Zaibatsu. Yeah. You know what? That name's just kind of open after the best friends broke up, so we can take that.
Sure.
There are many pieces of fiction that have what I call a showing the guy moment. This is a moment where a very brief glimpse of a off-screen character that is important to the overall story or lore is briefly shown, and for the most part, never shown again. Stuff like a character seeing a portrait in a castle and saying, like, King Justice. Many tales of the Battle of the Five Seas, for example. What is your favorite show me the guy moment? I kind of want to cop out and say like the Trails series, but eventually they do show you the guy. It just takes a couple games.
What do you mean by show you the guy?
I just explained it. GC has 2. GC, give Cosmo one of yours.
Wait. So So is this question asking like, so this is a character that never shows up again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more like a character that they briefly show that's like really important, and then later on it reveals that it's like an important character. The guy moment.
I'm sure there's a lot in like Castlevania, maybe.
I mean, most of these moments are eventual reveals. Like I can't say Lord Gwyn from Dark Souls because he eventually shows up. And
it doesn't have to be a villain, does it?
It just has to be a guy.
Okay, Julius Belmont. Anyone that's played the game Julius is from, you'll understand. We'll never see the Vampire War of 1999.
Xenoblade 3 kind of has a version of this, and I'm counting it, where you get to the city and they show you like a bunch of really cool statues, and it's like, those are the coolest guys ever. They've been dead for like millennia, but they're so cool, huh? And then those characters are in the DLC expansion. You learn about them. But I'm counting it anyway.
See, I don't have any of like a moment where it's like, yes, this character who's really important, and they never talk about him again. I have Persona 4, if you know, you know. And then I actually quite liked in Like a Dragon 7. This is more of like a recency bias thing because I can't think of another one. The villain, the final boss of that game is actually on a big like panoramic screen in the background of a shot at the very start of the game after Ichiban comes back from being in prison. And he's just there in the background. And there's like a news story going on about him. And you don't notice that until you replay that game and you look at like background elements because you're not paying attention to like the foreground as much.
Mm-hmm.
They were cooking with 7's story, at least compared to like 8. God, I think back on 7 and I like smile, and I think back on 8 and I'm like, oh, I didn't finish it.
It's Ryosuke Hori, man. They didn't give him they didn't give him enough control over the next project. They just slapped more people onto the project. Ironically, I'm saying that after shit talking Square Enix for doing the same thing.
But thank you all for asking us some questions. We have less of a question, more of a comment. I think the two of you will really appreciate. I'm going to call this person because they didn't give a name. Actually, no, I'm so fucking stupid. It's the very first sentence. Hello, my name is Cake. Not a question because I'm bad at thinking of questions and I also have limited time. But did you know the horse speed in Inquisition is actually the same as the walking speed? They just added blur/motion effects to make it seem like it's going faster.
Yes, I knew that.
What?
That's why nobody uses the horse.
What the?
GC
what is the fucking point of having a horse?
GC, have you been using the horse the whole time?
No, but why give me the option?
Thank you, Cake. This is the exact reaction I wanted when I read your question a couple days ago. I expected indifference from Kazuma and a freak out from GC. So thank you very much. You know what time it is?
It's time to go, everyone.
Oh,
We're leaving this planet.
I was going to say.
Oh. Hey,
Hey,
GC, do the scene goth skater thing now.
All right, so skater kids fuck, scene kids fuck with skater kids who fuck with goth kids who fuck with scene kids. This is the high school culture weapon triangle. Every episode we give each other a homework. None of us did our homework. I can tell you that right now, right off the bat.
Oh, you didn't do it either, and you gave me shit for not doing my homework?
None of us did our fucking homework. We're all
Let's
terrible.
veto this homework. It was terrible.
And none of us did our extra
assignments.
credit. There was no good news in the industry.
No,
to talk
more
about.
layoffs.
Right, there was fucking Concord cost $400 million. No
Jesus
good news.
Christ.
More
Nothing.
layoffs at Microsoft.
Layoffs at Microsoft.
Nothing good happened at all.
Nothing good. There was
Tiny
no
Blade
news.
comes out in 4 days. That's the good news.
All right.
Sorry.
We tried, damn it. I tried. I was hoping to find a good news story, a good feel story, game design, game stuff, but that didn't happen. I'll try again next week.
Let's call that entire homework arc a wash and just start fresh.
Okay.
Well,
So-
I guess
You know what? We're all going to be really busy in October. So I'm going to say homework is canceled because
What?
I'm also going to be a teacher soon.
Yeah.
I got
That's
so
a
excited.
cool
We
thing
did
to
the whole
announce.
thing.
I know.
I did the humming and the boo-doo-doo-doo.
Okay, homework, Cullen.
Let's just assign something we all do together.
Ew.
Hey, can we please play Monster Hunter together?
Oh, I got one.
We can
Yeah?
do that.
Can we please watch Gundam F91 in approximately 30 minutes together?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do
sure.
that. Yeah, and for Monster Hunter, Jake really wants to play, so we'll figure out a time too. So
Well, you
Let's do
tell
it.
Jake and his Neverland Pirates to just put something on the calendar and we'll get it done.
his Neverland Pirates.
Yeah. Google it.
Okay, hang on. Jake Neverland. What in the hell is this?
I have a pretty large gap between me and my younger sisters. So in my teenage years, I would often watch like baby shows for babies. And I'm sorry to say this, Jake, because I know you're going to be listening to this for anyone else. but every time I hear your name or are in a call with you, I'm just like, Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
So this is a really funny coincidence, and this is not what he intended at all. His name is Jake Mueller, like the Resident Evil character. He is exactly as old as Jake Mueller and shares a birthday with Jake Mueller.
Oh my
That kinda
god.
rules.
So, yeah. So most people, when they think of him, think of bald. Well, not bald, but shaved head or sick melee combos. But yeah, so we'll report together next week. Or sorry, 2 weeks from now, and let you guys know if Monster Hunter destroyed our friendship, depending on what weapons we use.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. So you can find us at Cullen.
Burnout Culture Podcast at gmail.com. Burnout Cult on Twitter. Burnout Culture Podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And GC, read out the entire Discord link, please and thank you.
Wow, what an
thank you,
amazing
GC.
Discord link. Thank you, GC.
I'm really glad that he actually did it this time. I surely hope that even if he doesn't want to, he at least records some bullshit after the fact so that the bit doesn't die. Thank you, GC, for keeping the bit alive.
GC, just intersplice Ryan Gosling's interlinked monologue
GC,
from Blade Runner into this.
Don't do that because I haven't seen that Blade Runner movie and I really want to.
Discord.gg//discord.gg/lowercase y uppercase q lowercase u lowercase r 8 lowercase x lowercase s lowercase p capital J lowercase a.
You know, you could have just recorded in post like something to be like, go fuck yourself, Cullen, and that would have been better. So unnecessary. So much hatred in your heart.
Wow.
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 If you have one hater, it's me. If you have no haters, I'm dead.
Well, good. Then die.
Okay. I won't be on the next podcast, everybody. Bye.
Bye.